Hello everybody, my name is Retroliser and welcome back to the final trial of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where shit is going to hit the fan faster than a rocket. Yep, this is the defendant lobby alright. Well, duh! Yes, where could she be? And where's Emma for that matter? It's almost as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Greetings, Edgeworth. Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is. Yes, I do. It's Gant. Delightful. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt on this ID card record. Oh dear. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. Yes, well, in any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling on the defendant. 5 minutes after the trial starts, Lana will be found guilty. Yes, I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here to hear what you have to say. Oh, really? Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident, Sunshine. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. Excuse me? If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it, Wright. See you in court. Great! This is it. Shit is going to get real. It's now or never. It's now or never. February 25th, 10 AM. I think. Is that... I wonder if it... I don't know what's so special about that day. I'll have to check. Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. And of course, we are ready to wreck shit. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Hello there. Nice tie. What's your proposal? Morning, folks! Morning, folks! Oh dear. How's everyone doing? Hey, Archie, been back to the pool. I'm a sloth! No, you're not. No, I've been drowning enough. Oh, that's a good one, Archie. Don't think I can top that. Delightful. Yes, what is this proposal? Confession, perhaps? Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the courts. Oh, fair enough. She's going to confess. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Oh, boy. What's this all about? And what would be this request? I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana, don't do this! You have so much to live for! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. Whoa! I no longer require your services. You're fired. Oh, I got fired! Well, that's just great. Fair enough. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Oh dear. A request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. You just got fucked. This court finds the defendant... Edgeworth, to the rescue! One moment. The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Hello? I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Ah, yes. Oh well. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Oh, really? I thought so. Your Honour, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Ms. Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Ah, yes. I don't care what you think, Ms. Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. That's very noble, and actually makes a lot of sense. Oh well. Worthy, you'll live to regret this, mark my words. Oh boy, I'm going to die! Yay! Even though technically what I'm doing is completely off the record now because I got fired. Why am I still in court? Name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My name's Bond, James Bond. And you're a sister and you have the desire to be a forensic scientist. Nice. Oh dear. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. Tough shit, you're going to have to remember it all over again. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Oh yes, it's very relevant. Yep, just remain silent, that's it. There's no more that needs to be said. Now, please testify about what happened. The trip to yesteryear has begun. Let's go and make it count. We just need to do something about it. 2 years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Okay. Yes, well, I passed out from shock and depression and all that. Oh well. Let's see what we've got. That will soon become apparent, Your Honour. Oh well, you've got to admire him for his ability to just string along the court like this. Oh well, moving on. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. Let's just press everything, see what we can find. 2 years ago, yes. Yes, she was second in command under Detective Gant. She was the best detective in the world! Yay! Get wrecked! Yes, apparently they were quite the pair, weren't they? Yes, they did share the same office. That's why you were there at the time. Oh well, and dream about playing that organ. Oh, okay. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. Okay. A man came running in and took me hostage. Oh, diddums. What next? Joe Dark. Naturally. He was a serial killer. Oh, well then. Yes, he was brought in for questioning because he'd killed 6 people. And then, of course, when he saw his chance, he fled. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Skye and Gant's office and met her. You opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Dun dun dun! Neil Marshall rescued me. Oh really? Tell me more. What was he doing there? Well, that day there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Detective Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Gant was there too. That's been mentioned quite a few times now, Phoenix. Your memory is really failing you. Possible Alzheimer's, dementia? Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony after getting that piece of shit of a trophy. Oh well. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. Not really. You would have been perfectly safe. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw that instant. Well, tell us more about the instant. Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. Oh dear. Yes, there was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby, causing a blackout, it seems. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. Oh dear. Yes, I told the detective about what I saw then. Yes, what detective? Goodman. He was in charge. Ah, yes. Yes, let's hear more about this. So you spoke with him about this. That's what's so scary about this. Oh yes, he's very much a dead man. At the time, the words just wouldn't come out. You had selective mute syndrome or something? I think there's a condition about that. Where you can actually be struck dumb by traumatic events, where you are literally incapable of speech. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Yes, ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence didn't contain a picture. Ah, well, I have the picture in my... I have the picture right here. I drew a picture of that, but it seems to have been lost. It's not lost. Here it is. Watch it. Whoops. Watch it. Here it is. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you still insist on denying its existence? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold! Actually, it's half of it. Here we go. Turn it over. Hello. Here we go. Might want to turn it side up. Yep, that's the picture she drew. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. Well, obviously not. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that. These lists, they're different from each other. Is it not obvious one was torn in half? Ah, yes. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. It's quite obvious what happened. Half the evidence went missing. Yep, we're done for. It's all over. Who'd have thought the picture would have been drawn on the back of the list? I know, right? Oh well. What next? Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means shit has hit the fan. Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Edgeworth's list. Hold it! So, in all this time, Edgeworth has never turned over that piece of paper, ever. I don't believe that for a moment. No, that's bullshit. Uh-oh. Sorry, Your Honour. There is something drawn on the back of my list. That is that thing. Oh, hi there. Shit, really? That thing! It was... Apparently, it's the Blue Badger. Huh. No, that can't be it, surely. Can I have a look at this list in full now? I want to have a look at the list in full. Check, please. Aha! So, judging by this, I don't fucking understand what any of that is. Oh well. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. She seemed to be thinking about something when she saw the picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see was shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant. I see. Well, then. Oh, yes. She was able to show us exactly what you saw, but you have not been able to... Wait. Let's have a look. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark was about to murder Prosecutor Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Let's roll. More pressing. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? No, she probably had a little bit of time to rest up. 2 or 3 days later. At first I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. Oh dear. During that time, the detective team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Intriguing. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? Ah yes, the flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. Yes, obviously. Oh well. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. Oh really? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Oh dear. What happened after the lightning flashed? Please do tell. After that, I must have fainted. Oh really? You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? Hey, get wrecked. Anyway, this picture? Yes. This picture shows exactly what I saw at that instant. Okay. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory? Oh dear. Ha! I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, okay? So I don't think anybody's story would have influenced me. Yes, I do believe there is a problem. There is a small little problem, and it concerns the murder weapon. And yet, you can't help but see something wrong. Allow me to explain. Observe the knife in the guy's hand. Have a look at it. Does that look like a knife to you? Does a knife have a blade that is blunt and not pointed? So, sorry, but there's a problem. There is a problem. I just wonder if I've got the right thing. Nope, wrong. The witness's statement is clearly faulty. Well, it is faulty! And already I've made my first mistake of this trial. Smart. Bloody smart. This picture shows exactly what I saw at that instant. Really now? Well, I know it does, but there's nothing I can do to prove otherwise. I mean, maybe it's in the SL9 case file? What about this? Nope, I was wrong again. Christ, this is not going well. So, what now? I don't even... You know what? I never actually read Neil's autopsy. That's right here. A knife tip was in the wound. Ah! Found it. Fair enough. Let's roll. This picture shows exactly what I saw at that instant. Wrong! I finally found my opening. Here's the key. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. Oh dear. But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Oh really? How delightful. Yes, please point out of it. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy? Well, is it not obvious? It's the knife itself. The contradiction, of course, lies here! Take a look at the knife the man is holding. Ah, yes. In fact, you don't even have to look closely to see that. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. Ah, yes. There's a problem. This is before the murder happened. Huh? Where could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Wrong, it was found in his corpse. Ah, yes. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there unless it was put there as part of forged evidence. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is that the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure. I believe you were annoyed at the time. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Wrong. There must be another way. Oh really? Do tell. About a little something called falsified evidence. You're treading on thin ice here, sunshine. Is that this broken knife might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. Huh. Could it be? Well, it could. But then what stabbed the victim? Your Honour, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony. Nice. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed. Okay. It is my belief that somewhere in this story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. Well, there we go then. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. It must have been another broken knife. I see. I think I have one in mind. There is another one. There's only one thing that I can think of at the moment, and it proved to be quite Chinese in its origin. Watch this. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? Yes. Naturally. I just need to prove it. Here's the real murder weapon. And what better than to prove what proved it to everyone else? The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. Aha, Edgeworth has spotted it. The broken murder weapon. Yes, it's a shield with a broken sword. Yep. A broken knife, a broken sword, whatever. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was the award itself. Apparently, Marshall had broken the knife off and used it as an improvised weapon. He was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife and broke it off the award. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a gun, as police officers would. I see. But that can't be! And why not? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murder and the victim would be reversed. Oh yes! I mean, the man holding the knife would have been Marshall. Ah, yes. I know. Magic. It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hello? Wait! I remember now. You remember everything! Really now? What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? Yes, please do show. That looks familiar, and it looks like the Blue Badger. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. You made the Blue Badger 2 years before it was created? Amazing. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. Okay. Then how did this thing came to be, and what relevance does it have to the scene below? Intriguing, yet highly disturbing. Yes, let's. Yes, please tell us. First the knife mix-up and now the Blue Badger. I know, right? Ah, new testimony. Excellent. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. Intriguing and a half. Try impossible. The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year. Then something else must have caused this shadow to be seen. Stop, please, don't pursue this any further. Shit's gonna get real shit at the moment. But you can't do this! I've already confessed! Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Skye. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. We're done for. The defense will now begin its cross-examination, even though the defense has been fired. So technically I'm not the defense. Meanwhile, I don't even... That can't be it, could it? Could it be? What if... Oh, look at that. Oh, well, matters not. At least I can keep that in mind for later. Right, enough with the silence. Onwards we go! When I saw that man raise his knife, tell us more about knife. Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? Well, it was only shadows in the darkness. The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. I panicked and rushed toward both of them. Oh dear. We're done for. What else could I have done? I don't know, panicked, wet yourself, pissed yourself, shit yourself? Oh well. But as we've just theorised, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. But that dark guy knocked me down. All I could think was, I've got to help Mr. Marshall. I think I knocked the man away with the knife, okay? What do you mean, you think? It all happened so fast. And I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur. In a matter of just a few seconds, Miss Skye was almost killed. Then she witnessed a murder about to take place. A little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. Fair enough. What you did was very brave. What next? Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. It wasn't the Blue Badger, it must have been that jar somehow. Even though I've no idea how the jar is fucking relevant. Thought up this hideous beast, and that was just this year. Oh well. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough emotion. And yes, commotion. Bleh. Did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. It must have been the jar falling. Winning smile and shit? That is not a winning smile. It looks ugly as fuck. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed. No, there must be a reason for this to exist. I do believe there is. What was it? Well, I've just, I just might know. Well, I've got the answer right here, so get wrecked. There indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright! You believe me? No, not really. Here we go. Whoops, not the ID. Moving on. To the unstable jar of doom. Unstable as fuck. Needs a bigger base. But that's... what exactly is that? Well, it's some sort of jar. It's a vase or something. Well, maybe... As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this shit from. Well, I've almost got it, so... Let me just swap this. Does that look good enough? Well, is this a miracle or what? It's perfect. Ta-da! Magic. No, it can't be! Sadly, it can. The defense has proven its claim. Huzzah and hurrah. Was actually this jar. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What is this thing? Yes, what relevance does this have? Oh, that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see... Hello? This changes everything. What? How? Please tell us what's different now. That we know the witness saw this jar, the murder weapon, the location, the murderer. I'd try the location, perhaps? Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. Not only that, but she saw it at a very specific angle. I don't know. The location of the jar is shown in a picture. Yes! I remember! Yes! Ah, yes. So, the murder occurred at Gant's desk. I see now. Intriguing. Yes, but for what purpose, though? I don't understand at all. Exactly. What? If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through with the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Well, no, I don't, sadly. You finally figured it out? Well, I don't know. Oh dear. Could it be? Well, it must have been forgery, surely. Let's have a look. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? The impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? What are you suggesting? Holy shit, really? And since the man who was knocked into the armour was carrying a broken knife, he would have... Oh no. Are you suggesting... Right, what the fuck are you doing? Are you suggesting that Emma... Oh god. What have you done? Are you trying to suggest that Emma caused the death of Neil Marshall? Then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma knocked away was actually Prosecutor Marshall, he died that very instant. Sadly, yes. Uh-oh. She's done. She fainted. She's dead. Someone, do something. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. Oh dear. And then prove so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. And her body's been taken away. Uh-oh. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances... How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to protect your own daughter. Oh dear. I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Marshall? I do, actually. It, I don't know, just so happens to be this strip of cloth, you know, proves that she pushed against his leather vest, leather waistcoaty vesty thingy, very hard. So, yes, I would have the proof. Get wrecked. So, tough shit, I guess. Ah, yes. Oh, well. Uh-oh. Touché, Miss Skye. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. Being... I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, somehow. Oh, really? Impossible how? Uh-oh. I think I know where he's going. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. Sadly, it's Emma's name. Oh, yes. Will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Well, it's not murder. It's manslaughter at the most. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Dun dun dun. We're done for. Here we go. It has the bloodstains. This is the message. Oh, he is going to just speak the killer's name? Oh, really? It's not about the bloody blue badger, it's about the jar. Ah, yes. If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on the jar. Ah, yes. We found it. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Is these dots were once lines? Well, no. Welcome to a new game called Connect the Dots. Oh dear. No matter. All we need to do is connect the dots. Yes, we have found the proof that Emma is a murderer of doom. Even though I think that's not true. Here we go. Watch this. The murderer's name. Here we go. Then, can I connect the line here? Then here. There we go. Ta-da! I've got it. Oh well. Even though what you've done, Phoenix, has proved someone else guilty of a murder that is irrelevant to today's events. Oh well. Tough shit, I guess. Sadly, there's a bit of a contradiction with that, because if you say that he was impaled on the sword... So, I don't believe that for a moment. Not for a moment. Was Emma Skye. How delightful. Well, that's this trial over. They're both guilty. Ta-da! See, Worthy, can't say I didn't warn you. Hello there. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ah, yes. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Oh dear. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer, that's undeniable. But sadly, I'm afraid that's not important. Oh really? Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. Ah yes, we are the prosecutors of the law. The keepers, actually. Is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. Oh dear. We're done for. They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Oh dear. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. How delightful. And sadly, that means we are, of course, done for today. But don't worry, the finale will be next week. Until then, I'm afraid I will have to just sate your appetite with what's on the left in the selection boxes. Or you can go to the channel itself. There is plenty more to be seen. Thank you very much once more for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, from me, ta-ta.